You are listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I am the founder and CEO of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, Todd Eury. Pharmacy Podcast started in 2009. We now have 25 pharmacists, pharmacy professional co-hosts, pumping out over 20 different podcasts dedicated to the profession of pharmacy. We're published through SoundCloud. Just Google SoundCloud Pharmacy Podcast, and there we have all of the podcast segments grouped in their specific segment. If you're a company that would like to market through the Pharmacy Podcast and sponsor a series on your subject matter expertise, we'd love to talk with you. Please reach out to us. Email us at publisher@pharmacypodcast.com. That's publisher@pharmacypodcast.com. If you're a pharmacist and you'd like to become part of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, please send us an email. Same place. We're constantly expanding the network, looking for the next Pharmacy Podcast Network star. If you haven't listened lately to the Pharmacy Podcast, let's catch you up. Farming Your Career podcast, dedicated to your career advancement in healthcare, with Dr. Aaron Elbert. Pharmacy Leaders with Tony Guerra. The Gavel and Pestle podcast with Darshan Kulkarni. Senior RX Radio with Dr. Justin Rash. The Specialty Pharmacy Podcast in collaboration with the National Association of Specialty Pharmacies. The Fit Pharmacist with Dr. Adam Martin and Dr. Christina Tarantola. The Non-Traditional Pharmacist Podcast. The Pharmacy Marketing Simplified Podcast. The Income Outcomes Show. The Pharmacy Compliance Guide. You can find all of your pharmacy compliance interests, wonders, and questions by going to pharmacycomplianceguide.com. A new show on the way. We are looking for a podcast host. Polititalk RX. All things political, policy, governing laws of the business of pharmacy. PGX for Pharmacists. With Ken Sternfeld. A podcast dedicated to pharmacists and physicians regarding pharmacogenomics. The Pharmacy Inspection with Brian Prince and Dr. Seth D. Pascal. And the Medical Podcast with Joseph Friedman. You can find the Medical Podcast at medicalpodcast.us. Take a listen to this latest show as part of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. We would appreciate you leaving us a review on iTunes. Let us know how we're doing. The Pharmacy Technician Podcast with host Mike Johnston, Executive Director and CEO of the National Pharmacy Technician Association. Leave us a voicemail in our contact section. You could become part of a future Pharmacy Podcast Network episode. Tell us how you're doing in your sector of pharmacy in the universe of healthcare. You are listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.